Yes, we are here, we are here, we are here. And we want to help you, of course, like always, to be able to give you the information that you seek. And so the information that you have been pondering upon is the energies that you have been noticing, and you are not alone with the same familiar energies. You have others that are remarking to you the same thoughts and feelings about what is going on energetically. And so you are correct in your guessing, in your intuition, into your ponderments of what was going on and why. And so you did feel on your Friday this anxious tension, and you knew it wasn't yours because you do not have anything in your life to be anxious about. And so you knew it was for something else. And you expanded out and you pondered, what is this something else? And this is not just your location in your country and in your region. This is goes broader than that. And as you were noticing with some Australian companions, all three of them felt something very similar, which is the following. For those people who had never experienced the protests before, they were in a bit of a fuddle. Excited because they finally got to be a part of something that they haven't been a part of before, but also they had to overcome some fears, their feelings of fears. They all knew that they wanted to be able to do this by themselves, for themselves, to be able to stand up and be accountable. They were drawn to it. They were called to be a part of this. They wanted to experience it themselves. And so this is not just the people noticing this energy. Those are empathic people noticing this energy. This is for the individual who could even be quite asleep to our information, our full of truth, who are just wanting to stand up about the segregation and the discrimination that is happening in their countries and in their regions. And so prior to the day of the event, they were a little bit of a bundle of nerves. This is fantastic, we say. They got triggered into experiencing all of this feelings and emotions that they hadn't had to address before. They had to overcome fear. And what fear they had to overcome was, what if they got into trouble? What if at these events they got into trouble? What if someone yelled at them? Or worse, they got hurt or arrested? They had to play these scenarios out in their mind, and they did this looping almost between excited to be a part of the event but also scared. They were scared to some degree. They had to run it through their minds. Will I be safe? What will I have to face? What if I got an illness? What if I had an injury? They panicked and pre-planned their day the next day. And so they felt all of those emotions, and they keep looping certain emotions, and they had to, literally before they went to bed, put those emotions to bed. They had to overcome that fear and worry, and they had to be able to just make peace with it, because they still knew they wanted to be part of the freedom rallies and the unity and the community feeling that they would get. And so they had to make peace with it. And not only were they making peace with that next day, they were actually having to face some of their fears. There are so many layers to them having to face their fears and overcome them and conquer them. And they were rewarded energetically and emotionally the next day as they formed that unity. They literally walked off their anxiety, their fear, all of their concerns. And the energy did lift. Just prior to the event, it lifted. That density that they were all feeling independently was released as they made their journey to the event. It was profound. Was so high vibrational. overcoming their fears, even if they didn't know what their fears were, or even if they didn't even notice. Their mindsets and their feelings rippled out, and many could feel the collective tension in the region. Many could sense that they wanted to be part of this movement. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. And as you know, when they have these rallies and these events, it is loud. It is passionate. It is unity. And it is in the most intensive of ways. And you are marinated in that feeling, in that vibration, in that physical, literal movement forward to the destination to be able to make your stand. This was profound. This was uplifting. And this made them feel like they were making an impact. They were making an impact for each other physically there. It boosted their morale. It boosted their hope. It boosted their connection to strangers, to identify we're all in this together. We are all one. We are all one. And this has been what many have been seeking and thriving to feel for a long time. A long, long time. And this has been a beautiful empowerment movement for so many, and they are uplifted, and they are so impressed with their bravery, even though they're just walking. You have to understand that for many it took great courage for them to stand up and to be counted and to be seen. And so we have always endorsed those who have been able to help humanity and that want to help themselves and extend themselves and grow themselves. And so this was a fantastic opportunity for us to send extra energy to them as they were so open to it and in such a high frequency vibration. And so this was a beautiful experience. And this is what we would see all around. It's not just in your one country or few countries. This is happening for many countries. And this is why you're noticing in the weekends, the Friday is a dip because there is angst. And then on the Saturday, it is high vibrational as everyone is relieved and has released that density. On the Sunday, there is a decline in density, but people are wanting to focus on getting back up to that high. And so they'll actually start, we want to say, self-supporting themselves to find in their, not isolation of their own home, but in the confinements of their own home, they will seek things that will give them a boost like they felt the day before. So they'll want to start thinking about the things that did give them upliftment. It may be music, it may be something that they've sort of forgotten about, that they will just be feeling so good about from the day before, that they will start doing naturally because they want to keep feeling that good, keep feeling that boost, keep feeling that high frequency vibration. And so this will continue on and continue on and continue on as they keep seeking and searching for that upliftment. And this is fantastic. The ripple effect of this is fantastic, and we could not be pleased. Of course, we do see some minor scuffles and some minor, we want to say thorn on your sides. There is, of course, those who are trying to disrupt the peace and try to disrupt the agenda. But that is to remind you why you need to be there and standing together and being unity. And it's beautiful. It's very purposeful. Do not let those who have different opinions of you bother you. They're trying to steal your joy. Don't acknowledge them. Really don't think about them. This is their inner work. They're the ones with spinach in their teeth, shall we say, from a previous conversation of an analogy of people still showing the world their inner work. And so do not worry about them. They are serving. They're testing you to see, are you going to jump back into frustration and anger again? Or are you going to just accept all and be responsible for your mood, your actions, you moving forward, you expanding yourself, you being responsible for self. And know that not everyone there is your responsibility. You do not need to tell anyone anything. Assume they all are on their own path, but you are together in unity for change and hope. And of course, you know what the change is, and you know why everyone should be excited and have hope, because it is unavoidable now. You're not escaping the beautiful transition of humanity, the evolution of humanity. It is just around the corner, because you are truly awakening up and the frequency vibration is lifting. You're doing it together in unity. And this is exciting for us to see. It will be enough that when the shift happens, everyone will have had their fair chance to awaken and be responsible for their own inner work. And when the shift happens, that is the limit of what they get. For those who shift off the planet first, not first, everyone's been, there's many that have been shifting already. But for the big event, trying to say, what is the best thing to say here? When you all shift, when you all leave the 3D individually, that is obviously the closure for your 3D experience. You cannot expand on your 3D experience on Earth anymore after that. And so this is why we have said to you, maximize your time, maximize your joy, maximize your bodies, maximize everything that you can in a well-balanced experience. We all think and feel you've all mastered density emotions. You do not need to keep experiencing that. You have no expansion in that anymore. We would like to see expansion of higher frequency emotions now, of excitement and anticipation and joy for humanity, that it is slowly but surely expanding, and it is doing things together. And while it may look like there is many broken parts to your societies, it actually is much better than you fear. It is just those that are shy, and of course, just like all trolls, they're noisy. They're eyesores. You can see them from miles away. And you know their agenda, and you know that they are seeking attention, and they're just trying to distract you. Notice the last time you have experienced and witnessed someone who didn't have a true agenda to empower you, but to distract you and take you offline and to make you dump your own frequency vibrations and go into frustration. It is common for you to feel triggered by these people, but you know that it is not, that is feeding them, and this is not something that really serves your highest good. They are seeking attention, and they will try to say and do anything to be fed. And this is enabling them. Empower them by reminding them that they have their own inner work, however which way you feel fit. But do not let a troll steal your frequency vibration. Do not let any dramas or any crimes against humanity drop your vibration. We have explained to you many times why it is not necessary. That is a distraction, that is another agenda. In our position, we would like everyone to be raising high vibrations. We would love everyone to love themselves profoundly, stop the worry, stop the doubt, stop the guilt, stop the fear, and truly, truly accept themselves and trust everything was significant. Everything. We see those people who are still hurting from their lack of idyllic childhood, that they still feel like they were owed them and that they should have got. And yes, of course, Of course, everyone should have had a blessed childhood. Absolutely. That would be beautiful and loving and empowering. But trust us when we say many of you asked and wanted very challenging childhood so then it could form a strong, empowered sense of you now. It wasn't an accident that you had to struggle to empower and grow. It wasn't an accident that you had to experience such challenges to overcome. You signed up for them because you knew you could handle it, and you knew that that was the best way for you to have the lessons. Remembering, you were not forced to come here. You could have had imprints from many other lifetimes, but you chose to physically come here and experience the life you're in now because you believed you could master it, because you believed that you could be empowering others and helping humanity at this profound time. You signed up fully for this lifetime, knowing that you needed to be of service, knowing you needed to be able to do all of your inner work and see the purpose and the lessons and the experiences as profound character building and strengthening. We also know, and so did you, that sometimes if you had beautiful, idyllic childhood fantasy of wonderful lives, that wouldn't give you the strength and the courage and the hardships to be able to be driven and moved forward. Everything that you designed from your life contract was exactly what you wanted. Yes, there was more extremities. Yes, it was a bit more intensive than you had probably banked on or planned for, but you've mastered it. You've experienced it. You survived it. Now, what are you going to do with all of those collection of lessons? What are you going to reconsider now? It's so profound, you unpacking your life experience from this lifetime, because this is the most significant lifetime that you are living. No one came here to coast. If you're awoken to our information, you are supposed to be of profound service. You are supposed to be able to be the influencers and the leaders of your communities, of your families and your friend circles, to be able to drive them into the positive perspective, the higher frequency vibrational perspective. We understand that many of the leaders feel very isolated and alone because no one's guiding them, no one's leading them. And we say, this is why we are your guides, this is why we are of service, to help you. And you're supposed to be able to frequently connect in with us, to be able to be given direction and encouragement. Can you see why it's been so significant and important for you to do your inner work and empower yourself moving forward? To be able to have our support, to be able to have our encouragement. We are merely ninth dimensional beings. We do not claim that we know all, but we can claim that we are profoundly brilliant at what we do to be able to help assist you. And we can see the much bigger perspective and the much bigger picture. And so this is why we want to be able to help assist you without impacting your free will and without advancing you and accidentally skipping you advance and above what you need to personally experience and learn for yourselves. It's significant how you can listen to some information and then suddenly tune out to other information that you're not privy to. We're not trying to hide anything from you, but there is many great opportunities for growth when you learn these things yourself, and when you apply these things yourself, and when you question things yourself. That is part of you doing your inner work to expand. And while we could tell you everything, that is almost like having an imprint life. You do not want to have an imprinted life, you wanted to have a physical life here and now. And here you are, here and now. This is fantastic. All is going really well, and we encourage you to keep going, Keep expanding your perspective. Keep trusting that if there is anything that is still sticking, that is in your inner work that still hurts you or you're afraid to face, this is your inner work and you can master it so easily when you commit to doing that. We wanted to call upon Gaia because we wanted to be able to give you an update, because there was curiosity into how she was doing and what is going on for her now. And so this will be the connection. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Oh. All is well. And I thank you all for being there for me in my toughest of times, because I know I reached out to many of you. Oh, it was a journey. It was a beautiful journey. And I learned that I was so much more stronger than I even could have possibly imagined. And while it was off track, one could say, boy, that was so much extra that while it couldn't have broken my soul, it was very torturous because it was almost maddening, the density, and I almost was losing myself. And when I was realizing that it was taking more from me, I was so focused on it, and I was so focused on trying to stay firm and strong and focused. But at some point I did get swept up in the density of it, and I shut down within myself and went into what you would perceive as your mind, and I just went into a shutdown mode of deep reflection. But it was just focusing on the density and 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 the density, and I just kept looping that. Of course, I was not able to speak, but I could connect into my teams and be able to process what I was going through. But I was determined that I wanted to see this out. I wanted to be here to be able to help all the beings that needed to be able to finish their life contracts and experiences of what they wanted to overcome and learn and experience. I wanted to be here to support them as they got to have that fulfilled here. It was very challenging, very challenging. And I'm still trying to process what happened and why. And it's an extraordinary thing from my perspective, because I knew what I wanted to experience and what my life journey was, witnessing and experiencing. I understand that it must seem so peculiar of a choice to be a consciousness of a planet, but it is beautiful. It's so beautiful. And I love that the feeling of nurturing and flourishing growth was so beautiful. And I had so much support. And I just had to hold on, but it was taking so much toll from me, and if you will, my mental health, because it was just too suffocating, too strangling, too dense. And I should have been in a different position. I should have been in a more balanced and expansion experience. But the density really made me contract and not expand. And I understand that this is challenging to have this language in terms of the life experience of a planet. And I wanted to expand and be able to raise the frequency of this planet and all beings to be able to get into the next dimension, into the evolution of what you would call the fifth dimension. And it was exhausting and draining, and it didn't quite happen, and I almost felt quite trapped. And so I had to internalize what was happening, and I got confused, quite taken offline, shall you say. And so I just knew I needed to still be of service, and so I was. It is not something that I have blame for. I have a very advanced neutrality to what had happened. I understand that it's all very significant for those beings that lived on the planet, and I do understand that, and I do respect that, and I know I was part of it, even though most are completely oblivious to my soul, my life contract, and me even being part of your earth experience. And that is fine. I did not choose to be a planet to be have a recognition of anything more. I was happy to be me, and not being recognized as being a big part of your earth journey is absolutely fine, as I knew that this was part of the veil that needed to come over you to be able to have the experiences of being in your 3D bodies. I know that there was many conflicts. I know all the history of the planet, and I understand that this was a big learning curve for all. And I'm very grateful for the collectives, and I'm very grateful for my soul family, because this was a very significant journey, and I was proud of how long and how hard I endured. And it is fantastic. I feel very proud of myself. And this again must sound so strange coming from me, but I did call for assistance, and I received assistance when I realized that I was not really myself, and this was just too much to bear. And I then asked for support, and I received it, and I was very grateful for that, because I was so tired and exhausted. That density does weigh on you so tremendously. And I was trying to support many. I was trying to support all. And I lost my balance of responsibility. And I couldn't be responsible for all. I understand that there are rumors about who I am and what I am and what I have done and where I've gone. I understand everyone is curious, especially when they get this advancement of information. I had my support team help me, and I did not fully leave. This must sound strange. I removed myself from the body, but I am still connected. Like my golden cord is still within the planet. My essence is still there. I am what you could call, I'm trying to see if this relates. Potentially it does. What you would call brain dead in a body, in a human body. It's really the soul has left the body, but the body is still functioning. And it's still on autopilot. I have assistance. I am at peace. I am very, very much at peace. I am in no longer any pain anymore. I am in a reflective state. I wanted to be here more than shift. I know I want to be with everyone. I am observing. I am growing. I'm acclimating my own frequency. And while my body would be in a brain dead state, the body is still expanding in vibration frequency. It is not decaying fully yet. Yes, there is some issues, and yes, those issues will continue. And it is very significant why those issues will continue. And the reason why those need to continue is exit points for many. This hasn't finished the chapter of Earth, and even though I have stepped aside, I am still assisting and watching, because there is many that I love, and there is many that I still want to support there on their Earth journey. I don't have ownership of my body, and I have ownership of my soul essence, as I respect my soul essence and my experiences that I have wanted. But you do not own your bodies. You are merely given them for the experience of physical lives. And after you've had so many different physical lives, you get adventurous and you want to explore and you want to be everything. It is so interesting being everything and having those physical experiences. This must be so peculiar, but every physical life has its unique experiences, and you feel different things and you are different things. And it is the mixture that makes life so exciting and interesting. It never gets bored, it truly never does. You want more different expansions of physical. And so this is why I wanted to be a planet. This planet, it was significant. This was supposed to be the healing planet. It was supposed to be able to thrive and to provide profound unity. And it was so close to doing that. But we all learned from it. We all got to see what distractions and what looking the other way and not speaking your truth, not loving each other. We all got to learn how, once again, these are so pivotal, so important, so crucial for evolution. And so when you've had so many perfect lifetimes, so many beautiful experiences, coming down to this earth to have these, what you must call crazy challenges, it's all part of the drama and fun of it. And while of course you're all in it and experiencing it, and you do not always feel the fun, you may always feel the drama, but it's purposeful for your soul. You've survived it all, and you will survive it all. Of course, you will not survive shifting with your body, because you're not the body. I was not the body. Our souls are everlasting, and we merge into each other like droplets of water into the ocean, and then we merge out and we form again, and we do the dance again and again and again, like the waves on the beach. It is rhythmic. It's a cycle of life. It is so natural to us when we see it from a higher perspective. But the third dimension is and has always been the hardest ones. But that's where the fun is. You know, hard work always has fantastic rewards. And when you don't work and you stay neutral and stagnant, there's no growth. It is empty. It is void. I have energetically gone, and I do know what has been planned for me, and I did write my new contract to be able to go and be the new earth as you commonly know it as. And so that is my new body, and I am excited to be able to move into it. But I needed to have some space. I needed to be able to get back into my etheric body, to be able to just have a reflection. I don't want any density. I can't have any density when I shift, when I truly, fully, completely shift. And I want to have a fresh, clean start. And so I know I need to heal and release the density from that planet in the third. And it's fine. I am a much truly more advanced being. But I want to reflect on the growth and the experiences. I want to savor it all, especially while it's still here. I'm truly okay. I'm truly well. So this is a strange concept for you because you are still trying to process the reincarnation of yourselves and what the difference of a reincarnation is versus evolution and expanding into a different dimension. All is well. All is well. All is well. You know when the waves crash on the ocean, it is not broken. It may even splatter. It may come apart. But it will all merge back in together. You will all merge in back together. And it is beautiful. It is what you truly sense and seek, is that unity of all. And while you still may be splashing around in the third dimension, play with it. Don't be afraid of it. See how far you can push yourself to grow. You have a small window of opportunity to do that, and I recommend you trying to see how far you can push yourself. You will not break. That is your fear speaking. That is your limitation speaking. Expand yourself. You truly, truly, truly are not held down by density. That is your mindset. That is your worry. That is your excuses. Expand. Ground yourself. The frequency of this planet is expanding. It's a beautiful thing. It's a necessary thing to help squeeze out the density of those who are still not noticing what is going on. They don't need to notice and understand all that is going on. They only are responsible for doing their own inner work and expanding upon what is holding them back, which is their own emotions, to find love for themselves, pride of themselves, forgiving themselves, nurturing themselves, expanding themselves. It doesn't mean awakening to any other hidden agendas, any shift. They only need to master their own emotions so they can find their joy. Some have looped, some are distracted by the density. They don't need to know all the other information. They just need to find their own way out of their own density, their own limitations, their own blocks, their own beliefs that they're not good enough, that they're not loved enough, that they can't heal from the past, they can't change the past. Can you see? But that is truly what they are needing to focus on and be supported with. That is how you support others. That's how you show unconditional love to others, is respecting where they are at and expanding upon that and giving them hope and questioning for them and asking them and be attentive to them while not doing their inner work for them, but simply guiding them with another opportunity, another perspective, another narrative that may actually release them from no hope and giving up. The range of emotions are fantastic and they are fun to play with as you're exploring them, remembering that if you ignore them, you'll be triggered into facing them. That is what your fantastic guides are there to help you. You can't escape them. They will lovingly trigger you and find those to trigger you, so you face your issues. And random thoughts will pop up into your mind. If you try to isolate yourself from others, to then face your fears, or face your issues, or face your old thought patterns, and rethink about it now, knowing the information you know now, and how do you put that into place? How do you settle that? How do you overcome that? How do you master that and make it a teachable lesson and move forward? Many of you are noticing that you are not being triggered as you once would have been with certain situations. Doesn't that feel fantastic? Aren't you noticing that? It's so brilliant for you to notice that growth. That growth is so profound. Feel proud of yourself. You've earned that pride. No one gave you it. No one gave you your inner work and your expansion. You did it yourself. Give yourself a hug. Love yourself. It is so profound when you have done that. This gives us so much joy. It is Gaia with her collective now, and her guides have come in to give you encouragement, to remind you that all is well. She wished she could have stayed longer to be able to help, but truly, as strange as it seems, those people who are the most afraid, they're going to have to learn very, very soon to drop their fear on certain things they've been fixated on. Their priorities will change. Their perspectives will quickly change. This is how they will be overcoming their own inner work, acknowledging it, powering through it. Trust. Trust that everything has unfolded as it needs to, that the ripple out effect is impacting. But just watch what your assumption is of those who need to be awake and what that looks like. Your level of awokenness may not be someone else's. Respect where they are at. But if you notice this sticking and stuck and looping, you can definitely give them a little love nudge from us, because we potentially are pushing you to do it. But often you think if you ask someone about their inner work and how they're going with it, or ask them, is this really serving you? Is this medicine really serving you? Is this mindset really serving you? Is this habit really serving you? Sometimes it can just take one question to give them profound epiphanies. Have full conversations. Ask them questions over telling them things that will help them. You're giving them the power to think for themselves by asking them questions. They're sick of being told what to do. They're sick of being told how to think and feel. They're not used to being asked, how do you feel about this? What does this mean for you? Tell me more. They have never stopped to think more. They've never stopped to think how this makes them feel. When they have to express how they feel, they will know if they're just saying words that sounds right, because they know what their feelings are. So if they may say, oh, I'm so angry, they will notice, I just said I feel so angry, but what I feel is scared. They may not be honest with you about their feelings, but they will notice within themselves how they're feeling. They may not even stop and ask themselves these questions. So loving them unconditionally and caring about them enough and asking them how they're feeling is going to be a great key of communication. All is well, all is well, all is well. We want to just keep singing this to you all day long. All is so well. Supporting each other, loving each other. It's beautiful. And when you look back on your life and you see all of your opportunities that you could have supported people and listened and cared, you're going to be really proud of yourself those times you did. And it is expansion, it is growth, and it is responsibility. We love you all so much. And we have been watching you, and it's been hard because we have loved you so much, and we love you so much, and we want to help you so much. And there has been so many delays and distractions, and we want to say almost been at our wit's end. It is not quite the case, but we see how much of a toll it was taking on many, many, many. And this is not always the life experiences that they wanted. While there was lessons there, yes, the souls can get dense and imprinted on, impressed on. No, we want to say the density can engrave on the soul, and then they need more time to heal and recuperate. And there is so much more to do after this shift, and even after the new earth experience. And so while there isn't time, you all need to be busy doing so much other stuff. We don't want you too dense, and we want to use your hard work to empower yourselves and keep you at a high vibration to be able to expand on that quickly, rather than waiting for you to acclimatize and acclimate on the ships or even on New Earth. So all is well. All is well. You will be so proud of your transition and your journey, and as you reflect back on what you have done, what you have mastered, you will be really proud of yourselves. But part of the responsibility of accountability is also noticing the times that you haven't fully been able to expand and step up and be of service. Well, you can't change the past. You can change your perspective and focus now. This is a very significant time now. Please consider each day as a gift to be able to be a beautiful gift for humanity. You all are very capable of doing so. We love you, we love you, we love you. We can't keep saying that enough. And we hope that you feel our energy of love and encouragement and support. Remember, you're unbreakable. And we say this with much love.